How many times have you said or have you heard somebody say, this is a new situation for all of us? And it most certainly is. None of us have ever been through anything like this before. We just haven't. It's new. But you know what happens to every new situation? Eventually, it becomes old. You know, at first it's new, everything changes, everything is different, but then as a week goes by or 2 weeks go by, and nothing changes, at least not to the same degree, it becomes kind of old. But there is something that often changes as the new situation becomes old. Do you know what that is? People. People do. Just think about how kind everyone was at the beginning of this, how eager they were to check in on people, how eager they were to set things up for their children in just the right way, how eager they were to be encouraging, stop what they were doing, make sure everybody was doing all right. And that fades away after a little bit. You kind of find your new routines and something else distracts you, and you're not asking people how they're doing so often, or people aren't asking how you're doing so often. People can change. Whereas at the beginning, people were really patient, and they were putting up with a lot because they understood this is new for everyone. But as time goes on, it's easy to lose our patience. It's easy to become disgruntled, irritated, bitter, as new situations become old. After the Israelites got through the Red Sea, they had a very similar experience. They were traveling 3 days in the desert after they successfully got through the Red Sea. And in the desert, it's sometimes difficult to find water, and they didn't find any good drinking water, and so they became bitter. So bitter that they named a place. They named a place Bitter. They actually found a place with water, but the water tasted bitter. And so that's why they named the place Mara, which means bitter. But they were also very bitter towards God, towards one another, after only 3 days. And that didn't make life easier for anyone. And they were bitter towards the God who had just rescued them in a phenomenal way. And how did God respond to their bitterness, to their complaining again? The same way he always responds to ours, with a lot of love, with a lot of love. He miraculously provided good, clean drinking water. And then he led them to a place that had springs and palm trees and just a beautiful setting where they could find all the refreshment that they would ever need. And he reminded them again of who he was, but this time he gave himself a new name. He said to the Israelites, he said, don't forget that I am the God who heals you. I'm the God who heals you. Even when we're bitter, even when we're upset, even when new situations become old, and it brings out the worst in us. He heals us. Up until now, with these evening devotions, we've been traveling through the wilderness with the Israelites on their way to the Promised Land, and with your permission, I guess, I'd like to take just a 1-week break from the journey, take a little bit of a detour to Jerusalem, because Holy Week is coming up. And I want to focus on Holy Week and on Jerusalem because there we see so clearly just how determined our God is to heal us of everything, and how thoroughly he heals us of everything, even our bitterness, even our complaining, even our bad attitudes, even our sins. We're going to journey to Jerusalem with Jesus, and we're going to fix our eyes on him, because doing that is the only thing that will ever provide rest and peace and patience. I read a quote that someone shared earlier today on social media. It was attributed to Corrie ten Boom, who spoke to the importance of where you put your focus, and said, if you look at the world, you'll feel distressed. If you look within, you'll feel depressed. But if you look at Christ, you'll be at rest. And that's what we'll do. Do that with me. And rest well tonight, my friends, knowing that Christ and his healing power is always focused on you.